can get Kiryu Goji at Big Bad Toy Store, so check out the link in the description down below.
In all of Edward's great glory, I never thought I'd see the day when we'd have another Godzilla with good paint.
I say, this is a right swell direction for us. Maybe we'll get good repaints.
Sorry, boys, but this engine of destruction is gonna keep all the good looks for himself.
No, don't say that word. That's like his mating call.
Hi, everybody.
No! Shin, listen to me. That's Kiryu Goji. He's new. He's got nothing wrong with him. Don't mess anything.
What do you mean nothing's wrong? Are you saying I can cause on him?
You know, there was a reason this meme stopped for a little bit.
I like this guy.
Oh.
Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It is Steven here, and today I have a review of the newest SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2002 from the movie Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, where he fights Kiryu. I'm going to say Kiryu, not Kiyu. All right. So even though this Godzilla is a little bit late for Kiryu's release, which came out all the way back in 2013, we finally have him at a hefty $85 price tag, plus or minus shipping and handling and tax and all that fun stuff. Yeesh. Yeah, the SH MonsterArts quality has really dipped over the past couple years and with the past several releases, so much so that my Ultimate Burning version unboxing has a screen cap that floats around from some image boards and forums that's actually used as a meme to describe the quality. So for this one, is it any better? Yes and no. Let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. Before we get the review really started, I really want to put the disclaimer out there that mine is nearly perfect. I would put mine at about an 8 out of 10 in terms of overall quality. I really want to let you guys know, though, there have been some reports of some horrendous duds out there, with eye decals pointing in two completely opposite directions. One pointing straight ahead, one pointing up. There have been issues with paint shading being completely non-existent, literally just that bone coloration thrown on the nails with no attempts at fading at all. There have been reports of literal puncture wounds on the figure. Basically, there have been some complete quality control rejects that did make it into the manufacturing process and made it out the door. So with that in mind, make sure you place your order through somewhere where you can get good customer service support, and keep in mind that mine is basically going to be the spitting image for what the ideal figure would look like. Okay. That being said, I really do enjoy Kiryu Goji here. I think he looks really sweet. Overall, I think they did a nice job with the coloration for the body. He blends somewhere on that teetering point between the charcoal coloration and the green. Very well executed there. The face looks nice. Some had reports of too much gum showing. Mine, realistically speaking, we just get too much of red mixed in with the white for the teeth. And the dorsal plates look great. The claws are fantastic as well. But I do have a couple of issues with mine, though they are pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. So you know what? Let's take a closer look. For the eyes, mine aren't necessarily perfect, but they do look good, and it's not something I'm really going to complain about. The decals are aligned properly, and they actually do match up to what they are like on the box with a head-on shot, so I'm going to give that a thumbs up there. He does look very ferocious. The inside of the mouth looks nice as well. We do have some nicely sculpted details, and as you can see, the red paint mixed in for the teeth does not look good. But you know what? This happened with Godzilla 2000 Millennium as well, and I think it looks acceptable here. Now you can also move the tongue up as well, and they did manage to actually sculpt the underside of the mouth where the tongue would rest. So that's nice to see as well. Taking a look at the actual main body of Godzilla, you can actually see all of the folds and all of the ridges for Godzilla's scales and his scutes and whatnot you want to call them. And I think overall for the sculptor, I'm not quite sure who they tagged in for this project. I do believe it would be Yuji Sakai. If they did, fantastic. He did a really wonderful job making sure that they were able to get at least the most accurate design that they could for this figure. Admittedly, I do think the neck is a little too long, but at the end of the day, I still think that all of the markings are great. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the paint issues that I have with mine, and that is basically going to be it for all of the negatives I have to say about my figure. Now, on the right side, the paint shading for the claws is really, really cool. This should be the gold standard for all SH MonsterArts figures. You can see on the hand, they start off very, very dark, the claws, and then they turn into a very, very bright bone white. The same thing is going to be true for the claws on the feet. It looks very nice. But then when we shift over to the left hand, it's almost like there wasn't really an attempt made at all. And then when we look onto the left foot, it's so poor that they actually left some blobs of paint at the base of the toes. Other than that, I really don't have any issues with the paint at all, and I'm even more so impressed when we take a look at the dorsal plates, which have some fantastic dry brushing to them. You can actually see there's a base coat of gray, then we have a lighter gray, and then we have what looks to be even an ivory paint used here. Thumbs up. Money well spent here in the paint department. I really, really cannot stress this enough. I am a huge fan of the paint application on the back for the dorsal plates on this figure. Now, history has shown us that they don't like to continue the paint application all the way up to the tip of the tail on Godzilla, and that really does seem to be the case here, except for the middle row, where they really, really do try to get it all the way as much as they can up to the tip, even though they do start to skimp on the paint. Overall, in general, I do think Godzilla looks really nice, but again, keep in mind, mine seems to be one of the better ones. Alrighty, articulation here for Kiryu Goji is 2 thumbs up, and I think it is really good. It just has a couple of things that are kind of awkward, and I think they could have fixed up a little bit, but you know what? I think for what they did, it's pretty solid. So what do we have going on here? Well, Kiryu Goji's jaw is actually on a ball joint and opens and closes. It can be a little stiff. I wonder why. I wonder if I have anything pre-recorded that can take care of that. Let's take a look right now. So the way that the jaw is actually connected in Kiryu Goji is instead of it just being a nice connection right here, okay, it is actually seated in the back in that ball joint. So when it's seated in the mouth, okay, it's actually going up and under, so that is pointing up. So it's sitting at a weird angle, kind of like this when it's closed. Okay, so that ball joint isn't sitting at the roof of the mouth. It's actually kind of sitting back in the throat. So if you can see the ball joint, I'll point with my knife here. It's actually right about there, which is really, really different from the other Godzilla figures released so far, because usually it just might be sitting there and pointing out. It might be sitting somewhere in the roof of the mouth. Nope. It's kind of at a weird angle, and it's kind of difficult to pop back in once you pop it out. So that's why I had to do this jump cut. But anyway, I'm going to fiddle with this, and I'm going to pop it back in. And then we're going to get back to the review. And so that's exactly why everything moves the way that it does. So the full range of movement is actually out that far, and then it closes up to there. So that's one of the things that a lot of folks had some trouble with initially, is that they just posted pictures of Kiryu Goji's mouth going open about that far. And admittedly, it does kind of look a little weird, but first and foremost, it's on a ball joint, so you can adjust it. And it does have a little bit of a curve, which is upsetting, but you know what? When you have it at a reasonable amount opened up, it looks fine. Something else of note is that he does have a tongue that is on a ball joint, so you can lift it up like that. I would advise you getting something that's pretty small, so this way you can move it around like a piece of paper or a paper clip or whatever. I just have a very small, thin guitar pick that I'm able to move that around with, so that's pretty fun. Ball joint, you can move that around as much as you want. So we'll close up the mouth there. Now the head plugs into the neck on a ball joint. We can twist and turn it and move it around from side to side. Pretty nice, tight, stable connection. We can get Godzilla to look up about that far on that joint, look down about that far. Obviously, it's a ball joint, so twist and turn, rocking from side to side. And then we have a couple of ball joints in here that can do a lot more lifting, if you will, to get Godzilla to look around. Oh, we do have a ball joint in the waist there, but I'll take a look at that later for you guys. So, yeah, you know, we get some nice movement out of the neck for Godzilla here. You really have to use the other joints to get Godzilla to look around, but Yeah, they're pretty cool. Let's see if we can actually get some of those joints to really work here. To get Godzilla to, let's say, look down. Ah, there we go. That's pretty cool. All right, so now the arms. We do have ball-jointed shoulders, so this way we can move Godzilla's arms around, up and down, left and right, spin them around, rock them in and out. We do have bicep swivels. They are going to be on ball joints. I know this because mine likes to pop out on the right arm. That is what popped out at the end of the unboxing, and you know what? We'll just leave that off, just because I like to show issues, and someone was going to say, hey, I'm overly dramatic, and you know what? That's going to be the thing. That's going to be the overly dramatic part. So anyway, we do have ball-jointed bicep swivels, so this way we can get a little bit of rocking motion out of them as well, and we do actually have elbow hinges. Okay? For the wrists, you'd think that they go with the swivel hinge combo that Millennium 2000 Goji went with, but nope, it's just going to be your straightforward ball joint connection. So this way you can move them around like that. All nice and easy. So arms, pretty straightforward. We do have a ball-jointed ab crunch and a ball-jointed waist. So this way you can twist Godzilla around. And that's where you can get some fun poses out of him. Right? So combine them with the cool neck joints, and you can get Godzilla to sort of lean forward and roar like he's in a very intimidating pose, right? Who doesn't want that? That's pretty cool. So yes, very nice main body articulation. The hips, standard fare. Woo! We're popping stuff off here when we're being forceful. Ball jointed hips. Oh, look at that. See, you can just pop stuff back on. And see, I'm just going to prove that. Yeah, lots of ball joints here. So we have ball jointed hips. Hinge knees. They do plug in on ball joints, so we can get some stuff to move around there. And then we do have two ball joints down here in the ankle area, so this way we get some nice ankle rocker movement. See, when you're forceful, you can pop stuff off, but you can easily pop it back on. There we go. So yeah, we do get some nice ball jointed movement there. So ankle rockers and all that fun stuff. Now the tail. This is probably the best SH MonsterArts tail we've ever gotten. We've got plenty of joints here that are going to work very well. Up to about here, that's going to just be one big piece of sculpt, as you can clearly see. But tail poses really, really well. We can even get Godzilla. I bet we can. Can we get him to bite his tail? No, close though. But yeah, you can get Godzilla's tail to pretty much come up and touch his head like that. And guess what? It holds pose too. So all of the previous releases that had very, very loose tails, this puts it to shame. So this is the best SH MonsterArts tail we've pretty much ever had. So yeah, SH MonsterArts Xenomorph Warrior, Alien Warrior. Yeah, I got nothing on this guy. So yeah, so aside from a couple of joints popping off, which have never happened before on this review, please disregard that. They popped on with super ease. And a couple of awkward things like the jaw here. Yeah, I do think that the engineering for Kiryu Goji here is top notch, and I do think it is one of the best Godzillas we have so far. Just wish we could get a little bit more range out of the neck, which is still good, and the torso could use just a little bit more in terms of range of movement.
All right, so we're looking nice. We got some sweet articulation, and the accessories don't exist because they didn't include anything. So we've got Godzilla 2000 Millennium that doesn't have a beam. We've got GMK Goji that doesn't have a beam. We've got a couple of other miscellaneous Godzillas that don't have a beam, and now we have Godzilla 2002 that doesn't have a beam. No extra buildings that come with this thing. That's right, nothing. We didn't even get a couple of small maser tanks, accuracy be damned, to go with this thing, so this way we could recreate the opening of the movie. Are you serious, Bandai? For like 85 to 90 bucks, you couldn't include something to go with this? We all know in 2 to 3 years, you're going to repaint this in a special color, wet nighttime first appearance version, reemergence of Godzilla, something or the other. I know the check will be in the mail in 2 to 3 weeks with all of the royalties that I'm going to get for that special web exclusive repaint that's going to come out in a couple of years. But anyway, the point of the matter is there are effect parts that are out there that you can spend a couple of extra bucks on, and you can increase the display value of this guy. Why am I saying any more than this? Go ahead and click on the video on the top right hand corner of your screen that's going to pop up in that card, and let's make that Godzilla look nicer on your shelf. Right. You like that nice 360 spin view. So do I. Anyway, time to wrap up this review with a nice size comparison with some other figures you just might have up on your shelf or other figures you know about, so this way you get a good idea of how big it is. And as you can see here, it's gonna be just about the same size as your other 6-inch Godzillas, maybe just a bit bigger. So that whole thing about we're gonna make the Millennium Godzillas bigger was a whole bunch of hogwash. Right. Something else to keep in mind, this Godzilla is actually about as big as the Kiryu that was released. And in the movie, he's actually smaller than Kiryu. So this is kind of one of those SH Figuarts Ultraman conundrums with the kaiju and all that. You can watch my reviews on those. Oh, the two of them that I have up to get my opinion on that more. So anyway, Kiryu Goji is just big enough. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. You know what? I gotta say, overall, I'm pleased. I am happy. I hope you guys can hear that in my voice. I am very, very relieved to have actually gotten a good quality SH MonsterArts figure, and air quotes here, got my money's worth. Do I think, even though I got something that was basically as close to the prototype that I could have gotten, that I got my money's worth? No. I don't think this is an $85 figure. I think this is somewhere around the $75 tops range. Even the original Godzilla was not this much money. I know the engineering is better and the quality of the materials is better, but still, hear me out on this one. I do think that Bandai needs to start to get the price creep under control, and they need to match the quality to it as well. I understand that there are licensing issues, but also there is the gamble for quality control, and that is not something they need to push on the consumers. They need to buckle down on that, and then I can say, this is definitely worth the money. As it stands, though, if this is something you're looking to get, just know you can get ones that look nearly perfect. Just make sure you have the retailer to back you up from the quality control standpoint. If you get one that has a hole in the neck, that they're going to be able to help you out. So check out the links in the description, okay? Okay, so to sum it all up, happy Steven. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.